there's a really good chance that if your product's doing well in the United States, there's going to be a market for it, not just in a part of the world, but in more than one. My name's Brendan Wilson. I'm the Executive Director, CEO of Food Export Midwest and Food Export Northeast. I've been working at Food Export about a little over 10 years. Food Export is a partnership between two organizations, Food Export Midwest and Food Export Northeast. We're nonprofits whose mission is to empower small and medium-sized businesses in our regions to sell their food and agricultural products internationally. You don't have a marketing budget like a Fortune 500 company. You don't have the connections, the infrastructure, the long-standing brand that a Fortune 500 company might have. You might not have a head of international compliance, a director of international sales, and so you need a little bit of help making those connections. You also don't have those resources. So what Food Export really tries to do is to kind of be your partner in offsetting that resource issue. We do that by trying to reduce the risk and complexity of the exporting process for one of these companies, whether that's education, market entry opportunities, or financing their promotional budgets. We create rich exchanges between our parts of the world and the rest of the world. So we have online, offline, varying degrees of support for a company that just needs to learn how to make that sale. And that can be anything from how do I vet a potential trading partner? How do I handle the documentation and financing that goes into this? How do I find a distributor in the long term? And once companies are ready, then we have a lot of B2B matchmaking programs. We sit down and we put on events and services that help you figure out who that should be. And we hope it's more than one. At the end of the day, people have a relationship with your product. They have a relationship with the company that makes your product. And it's why our program that helps offset those costs and invests in people's promotional budgets, why it's so effective is because you can have the best price and the most efficient production process and all that stuff. If people don't look at your label, see you on a menu, and just have it not just feel safe and quality, but get excited, that is how you make a sale. Food is always going to have this really important place in our culture and in our homes. So when you walk through a store and you're making your shopping decisions, it's a good thing that people expect affordable, high quality, safe products. And those expectations are shifting. People want products that speak to the social needs of today. We want to make sure that when we buy a food product, we are recognizing the importance of sustainability. We are buying products that are from women-owned businesses, small businesses, minority-owned, veteran-owned, you name it. There's a lot of things that reflect a healthy, diverse economy full of participants of different shapes and sizes. And so we see that being factored into consumer choices. And that's a good thing for the United States. It's one of our best selling points, is that when people all over the world are buying things made here, right now, they associate it with quality, safe, and it's to our benefit to continue that. We put a big emphasis on our core values as an organization and in the folks we partner with, and that starts with cultivating relationships. You might need to meet somebody's family members before they import your product, and they might feel the same way about you, and that's a good thing. It's a rich thing, and so we help emphasize that. Another one of our core values is rooted in trust, because we want to make sure that this continues to be a fantastic investment for American taxpayers and for all the different stakeholders we have in our network, whether that's a state department of agriculture or a small business that needs to expand its sales horizons. Finally, producing results. It helps demonstrate to our funders and to our other stakeholders that we make a difference here. So having that part of our core values, producing results, is always going to be so critical. Our vision for the organization is deeply tied to our mission. We want a world where it's easier for small and medium-sized companies in the food and ag space to do business internationally. It's never going to be, I'll call it easy, because food and ag has its own unique challenges and the world's a big place, but can we reduce that risk, make the complex a little bit easier? We hope to do that. So we help make that a cost-effective decision for you, and it's critical that you find the right person to do business with. So we get some of the best importers, retailers, and distributors in the world to come and sit across the table from them, and they get to pitch the products. They get to get VIP contact information and a profile and support following up after the event. And so we really think that that is a heck of a a cocktail to kind of put together for a small business that gets shots at getting really, really fantastic partnerships with these importers, distributors, and retailers. The future of food export is really guided by its mission and its vision. So how are we reducing the risk and complexity of exporting for a small business? How are we creating rich exchanges between our regions and the rest of the world? And how are we driving investment in the food and ag economies of our regions? But at the end of the day, these are really strong forces. And so I'm always going to be bullish on what food export is and does. We have in Food Export Midwest and Northeast 140 plus congressional districts, and we have success stories from well over 100 of them. And so you are leaving opportunities on the table when you're not leveraging these programs, leveraging these dollars to put the most competitive foot forward you have to get international market share and opportunities that you just didn't have yesterday.